Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. As usual, we have our board model. The model on the board is from the last video, so that we can do a real short review and then move on to our video for today. In this model, what the subject was only the mind can be sick. And as I was editing it, I found out I left some things out that I wanted to make clear on the last video. And we talked about physical pain and mental pain. And what I didn't point out that I should have, and you already know a lot of this stuff intuitively, that these two here, your physical pain is going to affect your mental condition. If you got physical pain, you're going to be depressed, you're not going to move as much as you should, you're going to think about negative things, you're going to have an impact on your mind, on your mental faculty, based upon pain in the body. I forgot to mention that. Also, I forgot to mention that mental pain affects the physical body and will cause us to, if we have mental problems, not exercise as much, not eat as much, not eat the right food, eat wrong food, eat comfort food to help us feel better in the mind through the body. So these two are linked together. Now sometimes in our modern society, we forget that. We forget the mind-body connection. And if we have physical things, doctors want to say, whoa, that's physical. Well, we take pills, we do this and we do that, or you need an operation, or you need something, because it's physical. Every physical concern, problem, or effect affects the mind. And every problem in the mind, depression, anxiety, PTSD, whatever it is, affects the body. These two are not separate, but we, being very scientific, want to divide these two out, because this is, very scientific. We have all kinds of science to tell you why you got pain, but it's connected with the mind. Now, why do we want to separate these two? Your mental faculty is in a place unknown physically. It is a mystery how this interacts with this. Now, overall, both mental and physical is the mind. See, that's what makes it a mystery, because I pointed out in the last video, we don't have a good definition for mind, although we know that it's there, and it's not the brain. The brain has a lot to do with this. The brain has a lot to do with this. But the brain is a processor of information. And these send signals to that portion of you that I call the active mind, which is the mind, unknown. The brain has a physical location, and the central nervous system, what interacts the whole thing, sends signals throughout the mind-body connection. So these two are tied together, and I didn't make that as clear as I should have in the last video. If I make another one like that, I'll do a better job. So that's our little review. Not so little, but hopefully you'll gain some insight. And now we're going to change to our subject for today. And this is our subject for today. Now, let me read it off my little, well, let's read it off of here. Can science find reality within the illusion? Can science find reality in the illusion? Oh, that is quite, we're having a little green tea today with pear and something called elderflower. I don't know what that is. If anybody knows, just drop me a comment, because I don't know what it is or what it's good for, except the taste. It tastes pretty good. Now, here is our model, and again, it may look chaotic. So let me go through the elements to kind of set up this subject for today. We start off, usual, with the infinite field of everything. It wouldn't all fit up here, so I put it down here, which is basically consciousness. Now, these little circles, if you look real close, they're supposed to represent people. How many people? Everybody. Everybody. So here we have this infinite field of everything in which everybody is embedded. Now we have to go back, and I'll put a reference up here to a process we have talked about several times, and that is the standard model for the illusion. So I will put a reference to that up there. Now it's a playlist, but I think the two main ones are part 1 and part 2. So, but there are several in there. So if you can just get an overall view of what the standard model for the illusion is. And I'm going to tell you right now, because it fits into this. Your senses take in information from the outside energy system of everything. They take that information in as raw, unfiltered, meaningless data. You take that raw data and you filter it through what you know to be true for you, which is your belief system. Now let me stop right here, because this is going to tie into this. I want you to recognize that each one of these people on here all have a different belief system. A different belief system. Nobody has the same life experiences on which your belief system is built. We all have different experiences. Now, does that sound reasonable? Nobody you know in the whole universe has the same life experiences as you. So you are unique in that. And that's an important thing to remember. You are unique. Now, getting us back to the model. After we filter the data through our belief system, we end up with data that is meaningful just for us. Just for us. And so, from that meaningful data, which is meaningful just for us, we create our world. We create our world on the inside. Now, before we go on, talking about reality, I want to read the definition in Wikipedia, which is standard for all of these kind of things. So here's what it says. Reality is the sum or aggregate of all that is real or exists in the universe. So we can kind of take that, because what I found looking at reality, that's most definitions say this: reality is what is real. And then they go on to state, if you go on and look, what is real makes up reality. So reality is what is real, and what is real makes up reality. What can I tell you? In most logic courses, they would say, that doesn't make much logic. But we've been believing it for a long time. So that's what we're working with right now. Also, there are a lot of good scientific people with a lot of background that state there is no reality. And I referenced some of those in the description. One of them I'm going to quote right now from a quote from Einstein. And I'm going to put it up here so you can kind of look at it. And it's referenced in the description. And here's a famous quote by Einstein about reality. Reality is merely an illusion. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. So we are living in an illusion, and we are developing inside of us, based upon the standard model for the illusion, the world that we have. The world that we have, we create based upon our belief system and life experiences. So we're creating our world on the inside of us, wherever that is, and according to the model, as soon as we do, boom, we project it outside. So what is outside of you? The infinite field of everything. Now this is where it gets a little interesting, because let's us take one of these. Let's us take a blue one. Here's a blue. Oh, that's a black one. Well, here's a blue one down here. A blue person. Now they create their world, and they take their world that they create on the inside, and they project it onto the outside, infinite system of everything. And therefore, they believe that their world that they create inside based on their belief system is outside in the infinite field of everything. And here's a green one, and he is doing the same thing. Now, the blue and the green, are they going to have the same world? No. Why? They both have different belief systems, different values, different cultural places that they relate to, all kinds of stuff. So but here's the point. What they believe based on their creation, that's the reality for them. They have a reality based on what they have experienced, have memories of, and they create their world, and their world for them is reality, and they project it onto the infinite field of everything. The blue guy did it. The green guy did it. The orange guy did it. The brown guy did it. All of these people create their own world and therefore their own reality, and they will absolutely believe that the reality they created inside is the absolute reality of the world outside. So here we have a green reality. Here we have a blue reality. Here we have a purple reality. Here we have a brown reality. Here we have somebody else's reality. Here we have somebody else's reality. And they all fit into the infinite field of everything. Which reality is true? For the individual, it is their reality. Their reality is the only truth. Why? It's the only experience they had. They haven't had any other experience. So that's real, quote, real for them. Well, is it physical? Well, no. This is all just energy out here. But do they believe it is real? Oh, yeah, yeah. And you believe your reality is real. And now I'm suggesting that your reality is created, and you are projecting it outside of you. And you are observing the reflection of what's outside of you. Now we have another playlist on that, on what is outside of you, and I'll reference that. So here, let's look at this. Can science find reality in the illusion? There is no one world. There is your world. There is my world. There is the purple guy's world. There is the brown guy's world. There is the red world. There's a red world somewhere in here. And there is a blue world. And they are all real. They are all reality for the individual. Now, how do we come up with in our life, our society. How do we come up with one world, which I call the egoic world? We're programmed. We're programmed, and from birth, actually it starts in the womb, into the egoic belief system. And we develop what I call consensus agreements within our society, our culture, our background, our religion. And so we develop an egoic world. And it's called egoic because it's governed by the ego, which is not the infinite system of everything or consciousness. It is developed by the egos of each one of these, which is another construction. And I'll reference that up here. I don't know if it's a playlist or not. One of them is called You and Your Ego. Oh, how interesting is that? So this is what I want to point out. There is no one world. We all create our own world, which is reality for us. Then we project it outside into this infinite field of everything. And it all fits because it's infinite. It also fits because of the ego, egoic world that we individual create, and causes us a lot of problems. So everything is here. Nothing is missing. There is no one absolute world. We each create our own world based upon our individual experience starting in the womb. Now, all of this is fluctuating, is undulating, and you can change your belief system, which will change your world, which will change your projection, which will change the egoic belief system. This is a magnificent dance, and we're trying, now that gets us into another subject that we're going to talk about again at another level, but it is, have you got free will? And I'll reference some of that information up here, but we're going to do another video on that shortly. Now, this is a lot to think about. This is, again, way outside of the egoic belief system. And some might say, well, how foolish is this? But it's because you haven't thought deeply on it. You've only thought on the surface with your conscious mind. This is an illusion. And this is a way of beginning to pull the illusion apart in such a way that you can see, not just with the eyes, but with all your senses coming in with all that information, and you are going to begin to filter it differently. And when you do, your world will change. Be good to yourself. We'll see you again here in The Illusion. Bye now.
To my Bedu, alongside our mixie. dey give you bedu we go bust your brain to dance, let we dance. I dey give you bedu we go bust your brain to dance, let we dance. Ofuro wedi yai mugege, yai mugege. Ofuro wedi yai mugege, yai mugege. Yagi muge, yagi muge, yagi mugege, yagi muge, yagi muge.